switch over to the computer here so I can send the link to all of you. Gotta love computers. And I'm going to try to make a quick message here. Let's see if this works. Nope, not going to work. Okay, so hopefully... Hi, Kim. Hi, Cheryl. Sorry, I was trying to create a live stream to do a notification from my computer. But yeah, no, it still doesn't work. Goodness me. So hopefully everybody joins. So this is an unlisted live right now. So only those I get the link to can join. And then I will be, once we're all done here, I will add it to a members only playlist. So I think it's a good workaround. Let's see how many people we should. You can't hear me. Are you serious? Can you hear me now? Please tell me you can hear me. You can hear me now? Okay, so note to self, my phone better not die because I can't plug it in. Kim, can you hear me? You said no, so I'm thinking you can. You can hear me. Okay, I'm just going to test something. I'm going to plug this back in, and you guys tell me if you can hear me, okay? 1 sec. Okay. Can you hear me now, or is it gone? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? No. Okay, so I can't have my phone charging at the same time. You can't hear me. Can you hear me now? You can hear me. Okay. Kim, can you hear me? Cheryl can hear me. Okay, good. You heard me? Awesome. I hope I have enough charge on my phone. I should be okay. You hear me fine? Perfect. Just hoping Kim can hear me. You could hear me with it plugged in? Okay. I'm going to plug it in again because I'm scared my phone will die. Okay. Okay. It's plugged in. So tell me it was just working. Well, okay. Tell me now if you can hear me because I have my phone plugged in. Oh my gosh, this is okay. So you can hear me. Great. Perfect. So we got about 10 minutes. I thought I would just come in early just to make sure there's no issues. Perfect. So we got 3 people in there. I'm just going to see how many we should have in the class. Perfect. Good. You can hear me. I'm just glad that we found a way to do this. I don't know. I almost wanted to cry yesterday. I was so stressed out. I think it was more that I was just so looking forward to doing it, and then I couldn't. Oh, Dawn's having problems with her computer. Okay, got 4 people in there. Oh, Coco says hi. Okay. I want to see my filters. Current level, beginning of the month classes. Oh, good. There you go. Perfect. Sorry, Cheryl. Can you imagine if we could all have our sound on? How funny it would be. Okay, good. So I can keep my phone plugged in. That's good. Okay, so we have 22 people registered. So hopefully everybody comes in. Otherwise, they'll have to watch the replay later. So, with the comment that I just posted, did you guys get a notification that I posted in the community chat? I'm really hoping that notifications happen from there. Don't mind me, I'm drinking my cold Starbucks. Hi, Annie, welcome. Did you get a notification that I posted the link? I can't tell from this side, so I'm leaning on you guys. Let me go. Oh, you did get a notification. Amazing. This is so gonna work. You just won't be able to see the replay until after this ends. And then I can change it to a membership only viewing. So this will work really well. And it's actually going to work a lot better when it comes to when we're moving from station to station, because sometimes we're going to be here and then I'm going to want to move to the machine. So I'll just put my phone on a tripod right now, a tripod at that point, and then I can just move the tripod back and forth. Right now I have it on this claw thing hooked to my table. And that just works good because I can put it face down. So I have my dining computer here so I can see chat when it is facing down. So yeah, so we got about 6 minutes. How is everybody today? I'm doing much better today than yesterday, that's for sure. I gotta go back in here. There's Coco. Your videos. Oh no, Becky, you can't hear anything. Okay, try your computer. I hope you can hear it. Man, I don't know. Maybe it's a YouTube thing with the sound lately, because it was just so weird that I couldn't get any sound yesterday. We ended up trying to go through something different and it worked fine. So I don't know. I'm just glad I could do it this way. You can hear Dawn? Perfect. So hopefully Becky can get that situated. Annie, you bought a Juki 1181. Congratulations. You're going to love that. Get the same machine as Lauren. I think going industrial's nice. Kim and Becky can't hear. Oh dear. I don't know what to say, but everybody else can hear okay. So bizarre.
Does your bra feel like it wasn't made for your body?
Hear you.
Me?
Stop. There we go. Okay, so now I can see the chat. Does your bra make you feel what? What am I missing here? I totally missed something there, Dawn. Okay, we got about 3 minutes. Okay, Kim, we will wait for you. So we're just gonna let Kim and Becky. Oh, really? Dawn. We're gonna let Kim and Becky restart the computers and see what they can do. Man, I didn't even hear what my thing said. Well, there's my bad typing when I'm looking at the screen and typing with one hand here. That should say Kim. So we're just going to give Kim and Becky a quick moment to try to restart. Hi, Wanda. Welcome. Cheryl, I am the same way, but I kept it on for this. So, Becky, can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. Just let me know you can hear me, Becky. Yay, Becky can hear me. It hooked to speakers. Well, Kim, I don't know what's going on, but you can watch. We'll give it a couple more minutes. We've only got 8 people in there. We should have about 22, so hopefully, again, because of the way the class was, we might not get a full class, but they'll be able to watch the replay, so that'll be good. I reheated my coffee and it spilled over. Okay, did everybody choose out who is sewing with us today, or who's going to be cutting with us today? Are you cutting along, or are you just watching? I'm very curious. We're going to do the cutting the way, my process of doing the cutting. Hi, Elise, welcome. So yeah, so you guys are going to very much see my process as we do this. Okay. Awesome. Oh, Annie, I'm jealous. My nails are, I'm a nail biter. I'm terrible. Oh, yay, Melissa finally got in. That's good. Melissa's one of my admins. Dawn's one of my admins. Rhonda is one of my admins. You get to cut with me this time. Yay. I'm just so happy we could go in and do this. I swear, Brady and I were up till like 1 or 2 in the morning trying to figure it out. For that one, but I was kind of hoping to learn some new ideas. Oh, yay, Becky. Yeah, we were up late, and something really went wacky with his computer. So, oh my gosh, it was a nightmare this morning. We left his computer plugged in. He was reinstalling Windows, trying to get it fixed so it would recognize his audio drivers again, thinking there was a Windows whatever. And he had it plugged into my plug bar here that I turn off every night. And so his laptop died in the middle of the Windows reload. And then he had to take his computer apart because then it wouldn't work at all. Lise, I hope you're using nice practice fabrics because this is going to turn out absolutely amazing. You'll see. It's going to be great. Okay, so I think Becky is restarting, but I think everybody else can hear. So what I do when I go for cutting is we have our cut list, and I go just down the list and I cut it out as we go, and I mark it with my Sew Line erasable pen so it disappears in the end, and that's all we're going to do. I guess there any way, can you guys share pics on the community chat and then pick the members area and do it? I know I can share pictures. I don't know if I'll have to look into that and see, because if we could share there, that'd be great. Otherwise, I do have a Facebook group that I've created for this event. You can find it through my Facebook, the Bag Makers group. But at the end of this, I can also post in the community chat where you can go and join, and we can share our pictures there. So, okay. So, as I said before, this pattern, you can also do an overlay on this. I'm not going to do the overlay. I actually don't like the overlay. I like to just do a plain flap like this. So we're going to be doing it like this. Other modifications we're going to be doing is, especially if you're on a domestic machine, the pattern calls for you to sew into these gussets. So you can see how much of a pain in the butt that would be. That was my biggest struggle when I made my first, actually this was my first one, and on my Juki I couldn't get through the vinyl there. So then I ended up YouTubing it and found out that the majority of the people actually rivet them. So that is how we are going to finish this time, but that'll be in class 4. And then the only other thing I do different is I have a different way of turning it, but we'll get to all that. Okay, we ready to start cutting? Everybody ready? So I am going to, oh, look at on my computer. There's that bra that Melissa was talking about. Okay. So I'm going to end up putting my camera down. So it's going to be kind of the same view that you get in my tutorials. And I am going to try to move my laptop in a way so I can see comments. So I'm going to be trying to multitask, which this should be a lot of fun. Okay. So what we want to do is, first off, we want to pull out our pattern A and pattern D pieces for our exteriors. Okay, so I'm going to pull you down. Is that good for everybody? Can everybody see? Trying to keep it so you can all see things really well here. So I am using vinyl. The piece I'm cutting out right now is the pink part of this. And all I like to do first off is to draw it on the back of my vinyl. Or you can draw it on the back of your fabric if you're using fabric. So I just trace it out. You can see how many times I've made this. My template piece is terrible. So I'm just going to go ahead and trace this out. I'm just using a regular ballpoint pen on the back of my fabric here. Said if you want to, you can go ahead and just rotary cut this if you wanted to, but I always do it this way, and then I rotary cut afterwards. Okay, and another thing I like to do is on my pattern piece, I cut out this little square here. This is going to be the little where we put a little piece of Peltex to back our, or Duckable Heavy to back our turn lock, the male part of it. So I just like to mark in there as a guide on the wrong side where I'm going to be putting that piece of Peltex. And I believe that is my only vinyl piece I'm doing. So I'm going to cut that out. Don't cut out this part though. That's just a guide. Everybody's quiet. Everybody must be cutting. If I get off camera, please let me know, because I'm not looking at what I'm doing here really from a camera point of view. Okay. So that's pattern piece A. And I like to stick them together with that. And put that aside for now as we work down our list. So A. Now this is for our flap piece. So I'm doing my lining fabric and my flap piece in this fabric here. Is everybody still there? Everybody's really quiet. I hope you're cutting stuff out and haven't lost connection from me. Oh no. Yeah, don't cut the square out, Becky. Becky, can you hear me now? Hi, Lexi. Okay, good. So we got about half the class here. I think that's pretty good. Okay, Wanda. So I guess you could also follow this, like it says cut one exterior, and you could always cross that out. I'm also going to have to do the lining of this fabric, and then we'll have to do the interfacing. But if we're following the pattern, I like to go down and I just kind of cross them out as we go. Hi, Erica, welcome. We just started cutting it out. We have cut out pattern piece D, which is the pink part of my wallet here. Yay, Becky, you got all fixed. Perfect. That means everybody's here. Awesome. And Kim's good, so we are good. Okay. So I'm going to take my pattern piece A. I'm actually with this fabric. Sometimes I would go ahead and I would fussy cut it because we're going to be having our turn lock here. But my fabric is a pretty versatile one. I don't think I have to fussy cut it. Where did I put my little sheep? Okay. So you know how I'm using my bread and black print for the flaps. So I cut 2 flaps in the print. For this flap, do you want the bottom side of the flap to be the same color as your top front of your flap, Dawn, if that makes sense? Like on this one here, I had 2 colors. Like I had my lining fabric as the flap. Mine is going to be the same on both sides. So I will cut 2 of them. So it all depends. So you'll want your exterior one here. And if you want the same one on the other side, then you will cut both. Hi, Nicole. Welcome. We've just started cutting this out. So because I'm going to use this as my exterior and my lining, I am going to cut 2 of these. So I'm actually going to fold mine up like this to cut 2. Or you could cut 1 exterior and 1 lining, depending how you want yours to look. So I'm just going to use my fabric weights here, and I'm going to cut this out. Now look, you can see mine's all oblong. I have used this pattern piece so much that I kind of end up using my sewing. So you could draw this out on the back side if you wanted to. With cottons, I tend to just cut around my pattern piece. This is where acrylic templates would be really awesome for this pattern. Now keep in mind, if you have a directional print for the underside of your flap, you want to make sure that your print is upside down. That way, when you flip it open, it's the right side away. Okay, so I have my exterior flap and my lining flap all cut. And stop me, guys, if I'm going too fast at all. Okay, now I'm going to take my main wallet piece and I'm going to cut my main lining fabric piece. Oops. Oops, not with this. Which I am using this Galaxy print. You can really play it up with colors with this pattern. It's really cool. You can have all sorts of different combinations. So what I like to do is I like to cut all my fabric and vinyl pieces out first, and then I go back and I pull down my interfacing and I do them next. Okay, and then I always make sure I keep them together. So that's going to be my exterior. That's going to be my lining. And to give you an idea how this is going to look, this is how we are building it. So this is the top of the wallet. And it's going to come down like this. And this will be the flap. So it'll end up like this. And then these things are what form the gusset. It's really kind of cool. Okay, so we'll put that aside. Okay, how are we all doing? Do we all have that much cut out? Shall we slow down a little bit so you can catch up? So we have our exterior fabric done. We have our main lining fabric done. How are we doing, guys? Slow down? Okay. I would just chillax and I will watch you guys here. Ask me questions as you go and tell me when we are ready for more. Just cutting out one last piece. Okay, this gives me a chance to look at the camera and actually look at you guys, even though I can't really see you. So it's kind of fun that you're cutting with me, though. I like it. I think I'm a little bit ahead. I think there's a little bit of a lag. And I think before I do a class, I'm always going to make a bag beforehand so I can show what part we're working on. There goes Coco. So what we've cut out now is this piece and the lining piece of this, as well as this pink piece here. And then the back lining pieces here that are green. There's all this outside and the insides of these. So that's what cutting those 4 pieces has made so far. How does the pen work? This pen here, this has tape on it because in the past I have used a dry erase marker, but this is a Soline air erasing pen. I don't know if you can see it there. So when you draw on paper or fabric, it's there and then it disappears within like 24 hours. This is like one of my favorite things to use. So whenever I am doing my checklist, I use this to cross everything out, and by the time I go and make the pattern again, the marks are gone and I can start over. Love it. I used to use a pencil and erase it. I used to put tape over it and then use a dry erase marker, and then I discovered this, and you don't need the tape, you just need to mark it and then it disappears. It's great. So Soline air erasing pen. Okay, so Dawn's all done. How is everybody else doing there? I'll give you another couple of minutes. Done. Cheryl's done. Yes, you absolutely can, Kim. That's what I used to do. And on this one, you can see I actually put packing tape on it at one time so I could use dry erase marker. 2-piece cut, 2 more to go. Okay, we will wait. Wanda, go right ahead. We'll give everybody another couple of minutes and then we'll move on to the next one. It totally works on paper, Annie. I discovered it by mistake. So yeah, totally do it. It's my favorite way of marking my patterns, especially when going down a cutting chart. See, this is what's great about this is we can all share tips and tricks about it all. So yeah. Oh, it's okay. I'm drinking my coffee. I don't want to waste my Starbucks. I've been drinking that for 2 hours. Yours is cut out, Rhonda. Awesome. Give everybody else a couple more minutes and then we will move on to the pocket pieces. So my pocket pieces, like this one, these are the pocket pieces here. I'm actually going to do them in the same fabric as the exterior. Very similar to this one. But you can do whatever you want. Your inside could be all one color. It could be multiple colors. You can be really, really creative with this pattern. And it's a great scrap buster. I mean, these fabrics I'm using are all scraps from past purses that I've made. So it works out really good. Okay, we'll give it another couple minutes and then we are going to move to the next step. We've got, yay, 16 people in there. That means we are only missing about 5 people from the class, which is awesome. I'm so glad that this way is working out. Okay, we're going to move on to the pocket pieces. I'm going to put the camera back down so you can see what I'm doing. What did you say you had cut out? Kim, we cut out pattern piece D, the lining and the exterior, and pattern piece A, the lining and the exterior. I'm doing mine in the same fabric. So you should have 4 pieces cut out so far. Okay, so now as we move down our pattern list, we need to cut out 2 rectangles. Now I can't give the measurements in here. You guys will have to look at your pattern pieces because I'm not allowed to give out the measurements. Okay, so for that first one on the list, you can see the first under the front pocket fabric part for the zipper pocket. We have to cut out 2 of the rectangles for the pocket lining. So the way I do that is I fold, I'm going to cut them at the same time. I fold my fabric up like this, and I take my ruler. How do I want to do this? That's going to work perfect. And I'm going to cut them at the same time. So I'm going to rough cut the sizes now because I have some selvages in there. So I'm just going to go a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger on the fold side, like so. And then I'm going to turn it and line my ruler up along this cut side here. And then we have the fold side here because we're going to want to cut that and this top off. So line up what the measurement needs to be. Cut up there and cut across here. And then we have our 2 pocket pieces. Like so. So yes, look at your, that I keep getting a phone call there. One sec here. Okay. Uh-oh. Can everybody see everything okay? Okay, so now we are going to move to the outer pockets That was probably loading for a minute because my phone rang and I had to cancel it. Okay, so go ahead in the same manner to cut your next outer pockets. The overlay lease, you could definitely use vinyl or you could use cotton, because you are going to fold the raw edges and down and around the Peltex, and then you are going to sew it in place. Telus would stop phoning me. Okay, there we go. At least if I was doing the overlay, I would actually use my black vinyl. I would be cutting some of this out of it. That would be my choice, but I'm not doing the overlay, but I would do it in vinyl. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I can't show you the measurements of this, so you're going to cut out the rectangular outer pockets, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm sorry I can't show the measurements, guys. It's not allowed. But I am going to use a larger ruler for that one. But you're going to cut it in that exact same way. So yes, please do refer to your pattern for the measurements of the pocket lining and the outer pocket pieces. And you should have 2 in the end, like so. Dawn's done. I'm dropping stuff here. Okay, I am going to do the next thing a little bit different, but I'll wait till you guys are all there. Let me know when you're there and ready for the next step. Yay. Okay, Dawn's done, Rhonda's done. The next step is going to be cutting the zipper ends, and I do my zipper ends different than the pattern. It's something I find a lot easier and makes for a nice zipper in a bag. So once everybody has their 4 pocket pieces cut out, then we will move on. Okay, Melissa's done. Any questions so far? Lexi's done. I hope I answered your question, Lise. Said I very rarely do the overlay just because it's so finicky. I am using cotton for all of my interior. You could use vinyl if you wanted to. Just know it is going to get very thick, and we either have to sew or put rivets through there to hold those in place. So I tend to use cotton over vinyl for that pocket. The only parts I use vinyl for really in this wallet is the exterior and sometimes the exterior flap. But you can definitely try it. It all depends on what your machine can handle and if you have long enough rivets, if you're not going to be sewing those gussets shut. It's completely up to you. So yes, in this I've said there's some things I do different than the pattern. It's just things, guys, it keeps locking up because my phone keeps ringing. I should have put it on Do Not Disturb, but I will know to do that for next time. Yay. Okay, are we ready to move on to the next yet, or are we still finishing up? Okay, ready. Okay, we are going to move on to the zipper end. So you can definitely do it the way it says in the pattern, but I am going to do it a different way. And you will see why I do it the way I do when we get to that. Did we get the zipper? We are not going to do the zipper today. We will do the zipper when we do the lining of the bag. So that'll be the 3rd week. We're doing zipper ends. We're just cutting the fabric that will be going into the zippers. So this is under in the pattern. It says from pocket fabric, and you'll see 4 rectangles, 4 zipper ends, but we're not going to do 4 rectangles. We're going to do it different. Okay, so I'm going to put you down and show you what we're going to do. So we are going to cut for our zipper ends 2 pieces, 1.5 by 1.5. I can show you these measurements because these are Brandy measurements because we are doing this different than the pattern. So you may want to mark that down, 1.5 by 1.5 for 2 zipper ends for doing this the Brandy method. So you get 2 like this. So yes, we haven't cut a zipper yet. Zipper won't come yet, but these are going to be the fabric pieces we put on the end for the stops of the zipper. And then I am done with this fabric. I hope I have enough this fabric for this. We have plenty of time. This wallet is so fast to cut out, so take your time. Let me know if you have any questions. So we only have 1, 2, 3 more pieces of fabric to cut, then all of the stabilizers, and then we're just fusing them on. So this is a really fast class because it's a very small bag. So let me know once you got the zipper ends done. I love that everybody's quiet because I know you're actually cutting. This is kind of fun. I kind of wish that we had this in like a Zoom type meeting so we could see everybody working. That would be really cool, but I don't know how to do that yet. Lexi's done. Perfect. Any questions so far? Totally making sense? Clear as mud? Unfortunately, for a lot of this wallet, I can't give out the measurements because pattern designers don't like that in case you haven't gone and bought the pattern. I know all of you have, but yeah, so I'm just going to be getting you guys to refer to the pattern for the next couple pieces. I'm not going to show you my cutting. I'm going to show you the fabric I'm cutting. So our next step is, if you look at your pattern, we're at the for the card slot pockets part. And we need to cut that first one, 2 rectangles for the card slot pockets. So you're going to cut it in the exact same way. That would be fun, but I don't know if I could show my crammed sewing room. Oh, Becky, my room is just as, it's crammed. Anyway, so cut in the same way. I'm going to double layer my fabric again so I can cut both at the same time to that thickness. So go ahead and do that for the card slot pockets, the 2 card slot pockets, and cut to that measurement. So I am actually going to grab my big long ruler here. to do that with. Oops. Whoa, you guys are really close to my forehead. I am so sorry for that. Oops, I don't want to cut my computer cord. I promise this will get less and less awkward as I have practice doing it. So what am I cutting here? Okay, Melissa asked, what's the difference between the card slot pockets and the card slot back? Just so I know which fabric to cut out. Okay, I'll show you on this wallet. Card slot pockets are where our card slots will go here. Card slot back is the back. So here's where our card slots go. And this is the back of the fabric here. So you can have it the same, or if you want to have something different back here. So that's the difference. Annie, I hope your kiddo feels much better soon. So for a lot of bag patterns, when we make them, I will be able to cut the pattern pieces and show you what I'm cutting. It's only because these are measurement ones and you have to have the pattern in order to be able to know what those measurements are. I can't give them out, unfortunately. I got to make sure I'm cutting the right thing, though. Dawn is done and I'm behind. Okay, I better hurry up here. Okay. And I cut that really bad. Okay. Okay, so if you're done cutting those first card slot pockets, go ahead and cut the card slot back, which is the next one down, and you're going to cut one of those. Ooh, my stand is all wacky. Oh, Dawn's beating me too. Oh my gosh, I'm slacking off here. Sorry. I'm still working on the card slot pockets. Has really got to stop calling me. I'm so sorry. Next time I will remember to put my phone on do not disturb. I'm scared if I try to do that now, it'll cut the feed off. So if it keeps calling, that's it. Okay, so I got my card slot pockets. Oh, good. Yay, Melissa's the same. So here's my 2 card slot pockets. Done. And now I'm going to move on to my card slot back. I'm really going to use up the scrap. That's really good. Okay. And my card slot back. Okay, so we'll give everybody a little bit to catch up there. And that is it for our fabric pieces. So I'm going to throw those into my scrap bin, and they will end up going in my son's crazy quilt. How are we all doing so far? Yay, said the cutting one is always going to be, I think, the dullest class because everybody, if you're like me, I hate cutting fabric. I hate cutting interfacing. I like to get right to the fun sewing. So But we are only 36 minutes in. We have all the fabric cut. Now we just have to cut the interfacing, and I'll be able to show you how I do that because we are going to use those pieces as our templates, except for maybe, oh no, we can. They're the same size. We're all good. I hate cutting. I truly do. And my son is messaging me. Yes, Don, we are cutting with all our friends and we're all going to get to know each other. You must think I'm weird because I keep looking down there and I can totally see the comments here. So how are we all making out with those pieces? Did everybody get them to the measurements okay? It does make it more bearable, doesn't it? This is my least favorite part. I wish that I made enough money that I could hire somebody to come and do all my cutting for me. But then at the same time, I would be scared that they wouldn't be as meticulous with it as I am. Not that my cutting is ever good, but at least then I know if it's not good, it's my own fault. Oh, yeah, Melissa kicked her husband out of the house. Oh, Dawn. It is fun, isn't it? On last one. Perfect. Take your time, Kim. We have plenty of time. And this is what's nice. I must say, everybody must bring coffee to these sessions so we can have some coffee while we wait for everybody to finish up. There's never a rush. We have plenty of time for what I have planned for each class in between. It should take us no more than 2 hours each section, so it should be good. Nice and slow. I said it takes me 6 to 8 hours to make a bag. The necessary clutch wallet really doesn't take that long. Oh, Lexi, you are brave. I don't think I want my husband cutting my fabric. Necessary clutch wallet is usually about a 4 hour so for me from cut to finish. So, but this, because I know there's going to be a little bit of explaining to do and everything. So it's good that we take our time and we're all here for the 2 hours. So I think we all like to chat. So I think it's okay. The next couple classes, of course, will be a little more involved, more sewing or what have you, to get it all in, especially when we do the lining. The lining, I'm thinking next week when we do the exterior, we may end up getting some of the lining done as well, because believe it or not, the exterior isn't that time consuming. It is the lining and the wallet guts that are the work of this bag. The exterior, the hardest part is actually cutting that hole for the turn lock. That should be fun because my punches are really dull. So you will actually see me kind of struggle with that. So that should be fun for all of you. Yay. And my coffee is done. Yay, yay, yay. So for the next step, you're going to want to get your Peltex or your Decaville Heavy out. I am adding in something extra with this that I have found has just helped make the a little bit more stability for the turn lock later on, because I don't find that the fabrics are thick enough. And because there is none of this in the exterior when you don't do the overlay. So we are going to add it in, but we're going to have to make our own sizes. Oh, did everybody see Princess Zelda? Zelda, kitty kitty. Hi, baby. She's just staring at me around the corner. And Lexi, if your husband's good at cutting fabric, send him to my house. Oh, Coco is chasing the cat up the stairs now. Can you hear her? Coco, drop the cat. My cats and dogs are actually very friendly with each other, but Coco has been known to carry the cat up the stairs because he's very protective and doesn't think she should always be down here. So, oh, Coco. Okay, where did my piece go? Awesome, Erica. Wow, you've made good time there because you hopped in late, so that's good. Is it the exact same sound? That's funny. That's funny, Nicole. Hey, Nicole, I got my stand today. Look it. It's not quite the one I wanted, but my mother-in-law gave it to me and it was free. Nicole knows I'm on a quilting journey. She's helping me with it. So look, oh, look what I got. I'm super excited. And I just want to be done my quilt top so I can go ahead and start doing the hand quilting. Oh, Lexi, yeah, send him over. I could use a little bit of OCD husband to cut my stuff. My husband, I ask him and he says, yeah, no. Is that a good one? I kind of wanted one of the wood ones, but I mean, she just gave this one to me, so I'm good. Okay, Wanda, yeah, so that'll be a little bit different when we get to that part of the flap. I will try to remember to tell you what you need to do. What Peltex are you using? I'm just using Pell on Peltex. You can also use Deckable Heavy. This is the fusible one. It doesn't have to be fusible. You can also, yeah, it doesn't have to be fusible. I forget what this, let me show you my bolt of it so you can see what it's called. This is, can you guys see that? That's my Peltex. And I also have Deckable Heavy, but I'm trying to save my Deckable Heavy for some orders that I have for classic handbags because I like the way it feels in the classic handbags better than the Peltex. And in Canada right now, my supplier where I get mine wholesale is all out of stock until June, a Deckable Light and Deckable Heavy. I'm thinking I might have to order a big roll from Belgium, but I'm hoping I have enough to get through those orders that I have. I can use Peltex for a lot of it, but yeah. Yeah, use your Peltex up, Melissa. I said I only really use my Deckable Heavies when they are in the body of bags, like on the classic handbag, how it's the actual body of the bag, because I like the way it looks better. This one here, this is neither. This is 71F. 808 or 809, I believe that is the core bond. This we're using is Peltex. So Peltex or Deckable Heavy. So 71F Peltex. This one's double-sided or one-sided fusible. And it's fairly inexpensive. It's not too bad. Okay, are we ready to move on to the Peltex pieces? Have we got all of our pocket and card slot pieces cut out? So we're going to do the hardest part of the Peltex, and this is a Brandy add-in. It's not too hard. All cut up. Okay, so I'm going to put you down. Here we go. Sorry if it makes you dizzy. Okay, so I have grabbed my flat piece here. And what I'm going to do is I am going to trace this out with my pen. Again, you can see how loved my pattern piece is. I do a lot of tracing. Again, you could go ahead and cut it, but with this, because it's so stiff, I like to trace it. Especially because I'm so cheap with my rotary blades that I use them until they don't cut anymore, no matter how frustrating. Look how bad my piece is. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut it somewhat. And I'm kind of guessing my shape because I have my shape all out of whack right here. That's okay. Now, this is going to slip in between the layers of our flap, but we are going to want it to be smaller than the flap because we want it to be somewhat out of the seam allowances. So what I am going, ooh, look how bad I cut that. That's okay. It'll still work out. So I don't cut along this back piece. No, I'm going to have to. So we want to measure in about 1/4 inch because we're going to cut this back 1/4 inch. So I just use my ruler, and when I get to the curves, I kind of match up my 1/4 inch and I do a dot. No, Coco's going to bark. I'm just giving myself a line, a guiding line for cutting. And this is to make it slightly smaller than our flap, so we'll be able to stuff it in after we sew our flap together. And that'll make a lot more sense when we actually do it. So yeah, I'm just matching up my 1/4 inch on the curve and just doing little dotted lines and following my curve around. Again, my piece isn't perfect, but that's okay because this is just going to be the inside of it. I really should have cut new pattern pieces before doing this, but I've been using the same pattern pieces for as long as I've been making this one. It's time to maybe get acrylic templates because I make this so often. I am using piece A, yes, the flat piece. Now I learned how to do this because if you get the mini necessary clutch wallet add-on, this is how they do the flap in it. And I just find that it gives it a little bit more stability with that turn lock. Actually, Wanda, because you're using the magnetic snap, it's completely up to you if you want to do this part, because you don't need the thickness to install that female end of the turn lock. So you could probably skip this part if you wanted to. And then I'm going to measure in 1/4 inch along this long edge as well. And then that's going to give us the template of our Peltex. It's wasting a little bit of it, but hopefully it'll be just within our seam allowance because we're working with 1/4 inch seam allowances. Follow that line around to cut away the excess. Like so. And you will see on our things here, it should be just out of our seam allowances there by 1/4 inch-ish amount. Like so. I mean, I might be a little bit off in some areas, but that's okay. So that's what we're working to do, is just have that piece within 1/4 inch seam allowance. You could definitely go ahead and print off 2 of these if you wanted it for your template and just cut it out of the pattern piece so you didn't have to do all that measuring over and over again like me. But I always say I will and I never do. So that's for that piece. I'll cut. And then for the other Peltex piece, we want to cut that little square, which is 1.5 by 1.5. And that is to stabilize our male piece of our turn lock when we go to put it on the exterior. And that's all you need for Peltex. And then we're to the easy interfacing cutting part. Everything making sense to everybody so far? Are we good? I can put away all my rulers now. Do you guys see my ruler wall? Wanda, if you're using Decavol Light, I would maybe do 2 layers, just because we actually need the thickness behind the Decavol, or the Peltex or the Decavol Heavy to hold the turn lock. At least I find with Emmeline turn locks that there'll be a little bit of a gap there, and I just find it gives it that little extra. But Decavol Light, I say you could probably use 2 layers of it, and it would probably be okay. I've never tried it before, but it should be okay. So I've heard that if you don't have Decavol Heavy, to use 2 layers of Decavol Light, and it should be okay. This is a terrible angle. Oh well. Okay. Put all my rulers away. Trying to keep my workspace nice and tidy because it never is when I work. Okay. And we're to the faster parts. So fabric's done, Decavol Heavy is done. Next is going to be our woven interfacing. So, okay, Nicole, 2 layers of Decavol Light works perfect. So Nicole has experience with it, and 2 layers of Decavol Light will work instead of the Decavol Heavy or the Peltex. Thank you, Nicole. See, this is what's great about this, is because some of us have made this many times, but with different products. So it is helpful to have more people in there so we can all give tips and tricks and pointers, even to me. I'm hoping I'm going to learn from all of this. So yay. Okay, so we have, oh, hi Hi, Jaded. I just saw you pop in there. I will be posting the replay. I will post a link in our member chat once I get it uploaded, because right now we're just doing it in a private video. Because it was the only way to be able to do it from my phone without the hassle of microphones and all that stuff. I know my iPhone a lot better than I know a webcam and a PC, and last night was a nightmare, I swear. So I think this is going to work really good. And you know what's really great about doing this class at night? Is tonight my husband is home, and normally he works Monday to Thursday and doesn't get home till like 6 p.m. usually, so I'm always making dinner. Oh, Coco's losing it. He's making us dinner tonight. I think we're having like junk food dinner, like nachos, but I don't have to cook it, so I'm happy. Coco says hi. I think somebody may be walking their dog. Yes, Jaded, you have homework. Yay. And I'm glad that we got most of the class in here. Like, we have 22 class members, and it keeps popping between 15 and 16 people. So we have almost everybody here. So that's great. I think we had everybody yesterday. That was why it was so frustrating to me that that we couldn't make yesterday work. But I'm glad that we could get today going. Okay, how are we all making out there? Everybody's probably still measuring that 1/4 of an inch seam allowance around their deckable heavy or Peltex pieces, I'm sure. You could also just cut it with scissors and eyeball it. You don't have to be really precise. Said we may have to trim it back. We're going to be stuffing it in between 2 layers. Ooh, finally caught up. At least don't worry about it. So this is where it's hard because I can't see where all of you guys are at. So, and usually I just get in my zone. I will usually have, oh my gosh, Coco. Usually have my 80s music going and I'm just pumping out cutting stuff and going crazy. Kim's done. Okay, we'll give it 1 more minute and then we will move on. Oh, now Dave's yelling at Coco. Yay. And we're at 67 minutes. We're making good time. So depending on some of the classes, the cutting may be a little more intense. We might not get it all in the 2 hours. Maybe if I go a little bit over on some of those days. But usually for a bag, it takes me about 2 hours to cut an interface. Okay. So just to show you guys what I do is I have like this little rolling stand and I put all my cut pieces back in a bin and kind of put them aside. Try to keep my table clear. Usually I don't have this on here. For a magnetic snap, no, probably you wouldn't want to. Just whatever you would usually have in behind a magnetic snap. I would definitely want to do the deckable heavy for the whole flap because it just gives it that more of a structured leathery feel. But yeah, for so 1 layer would be fine there, I'm sure. And then for that little 1.5 square, 1 layer would be fine if you're magnetic snap as well. As long as you think it's going to be strong enough, because that is what's going to be opening and closing a lot. Usually I put deckable heavy in behind my snaps, but I know in a lot of patterns, deckable light, people put in 1. I may just be a little bit overzealous because I want to make sure it's not going to come apart, even though it might not. So that's just my preference. Okay, so for the woven, I am using my favorite EB Fuse light from Emma Line Bags. SF101 you can use. You could use, what is it called? Woven Fuse. You could use, I don't know, a medium woven fusible interfacing. And this part is easy. So what we are going to do is all of our cotton pieces, we are going to cut a piece exactly to the same size. So I actually use my cotton pieces as my template and I just rough cut them. So I'll put you down and show you what we're going to do. I'm going to start with this piece here. And just cut around. And this doesn't have to be exact because after we fuse it, we will go ahead and trim it all nice and even. Oop. Oh, okay. That's my sister-in-law. I will know for next time that I will turn off all my notifications on my computer and phone. My sister-in-law is talking in her family chat. Okay, so we have that one done. And I actually put those aside because I'm going to put them in a pile for fusing them on. So that's that first piece done. So all of your cotton pieces, do the exact same thing and cut them out. So for my card slot pieces, because there's 2 layers, I'm going to just turn my volume down there. There we go. And I'm going to double layer it so I can cut 2 at the same time. So I got 2 layers. I have a fold here. I'm going to put my card slot piece down so I can cut them both at the same time. Time saver. And again, woven interfacing doesn't have to be neat and tidy, doesn't have to be extremely accurate. I've actually always save it for last, and you can usually tell how messy mine is because I know I'm coming to the end of my cutting. I cut this one a little too shy, so I'll just kind of cut down that fold by 1/8 of an inch. See how excited I'm getting that we're close to being done this? Okay, put my 2 pieces together. I set those aside. Can you guys all see okay still? Okay, then I'm going to take I'm going to cut 2 of my flap pieces. Now, if you're using a vinyl exterior for your flap, you don't have to put woven interfacing on this. Anything that's vinyl, you do not have to interface. But I'm using cotton for both, so I'm going to do the fold method again so I can cut both at the same time. Like so, and that's done. So just to let everyone know, if you're not using vinyl for your exterior, you would cut 2 piece Ds. 2 piece Ds? What are we trying to say here? Oh, you cut 2 piece Ds anyways, 1 exterior and 1 lining. So this here. So yeah, because I'm using vinyl for one of my piece Ds, I am not interfacing this one, but I am interfacing the lining part of it. If you are using fabric for your exterior, make sure you are cutting your woven interfacing for this. So anything that is a cotton, you want to make sure you're backing with woven interfacing. Now, on the other note, if you are using waxed canvas, you do not need woven interfacing, or canvas at all. You do not need woven interfacing for those. So just your quilting cotton pieces. Thank you, Dawn. Okay. So this is my card slot back. Doing the same thing. Rough cutting it around. You do not need to interface your 2 zipper tabs. You can just put those aside. 2 card slot fronts. Again, I'm going to cut them both at the same time by doing a double layer of woven. I'm not necessarily the safest rotary cutterer, so be safe. Don't do as I do if I look like I'm doing something dangerous. And then your 2 zipper pocket lining pieces. Again, I'm folding it up to make a double layer and cutting around. Okay, now the reason I rushed through all that is because I'm going to get my heat protecting pad and my iron so I can put them on this table so you can see what we're doing, but I still need to heat up my iron. So that is all of my cotton pieces done and ready for fusing. We are almost done with this part. Okay, so don't mind me as I kind of switch off my station. Some of you are going to cringe because I am going to be ironing on these, but I do have a heat resistant pad underneath my wool mat that is going to protect it for me. And I need my water because my steam function doesn't work on my machine anymore. I usually do this on top of my washer or my dryer, but it's really awkward to kind of turn it around there. So don't mind me as I go ahead and plug this in and get it warming up. So this is my Aliso iron. It is not my favorite iron at all. This is my second one. My first one leaked all the way and I did a warranty and got this one. This one I've been using for about 3 months and it doesn't do the steam function very well anymore. So I always have water to create my steam. And these wool mats, I love. The mat gets nice and warm and it just helps make it stick better. I used to always use my heat press, but when I got this wool mat, I got this wool mat for my birthday last year. And I find that I use the wool mat better than my, or a lot more than my heat press now. My heat press doesn't heat evenly, but this is just lovely. Did you just get an Aliso, Kim? What color did you get? The blue one sucks. It could just be my luck too. I like how it goes up and down though. That makes me happy. But yeah, my steam function doesn't work very well. My last one steamed really good, but it leaked. This one doesn't leak, but it just doesn't steam very good. My wish list, and I'm hoping to get one for my birthday, is a gravity feed iron. Rhonda, who's in here, has one and she has me sold on it. Says it has really good steam and I want steam. You got the purple one? Cool. I think the blue one is like the lower end one. Maybe that was my problem. It was only like $100 Canadian. But I do like it going up and down. It makes me happy. How are we all making out? Is there any questions? I hope so too, Kim. I hope I just got 2 lemons and yours is good. But yeah, I will be buying a gravity feed. Mm-hmm. Okay, look at my little square go. What size is this? I think it's the large one. Let me measure it. I have no idea. I got it at, okay, so it's 24 inches by 17 inches. 24 inches by 17 inches. It's really good. I didn't know what a gravity feed was either, Kim, until my admin Rhonda educated me, and now I want one. It has like this thing that hangs that has the water in it. They're about, I saw it on Cleaner Supply on sale this month for about $100. Oh, Lise has a is ironing with her teeny tiny travel iron. All right, you're traveling, aren't you, Lise? Whereabouts are you right now? You still down south? I'll reread typo. It's okay. All right, how are we all making out? Okay, Melissa's done. I really love that you guys are actually cutting out with me. I thought everybody would probably just watch and it'd be all this pressure on me that everybody's watching, but I kind of like that we're doing this. Cheryl says her reliable is really good too. Well, that sounds like a really reliable iron if it's named reliable. That's good. Oh, in Arizona. How warm is it there? They said it was +1 Celsius and snowing here today, and it's not supposed to snow here in March. It even snowed in Burnaby, which is crazy. Okay, Dawn's all done. Jaded, I think some interfacings call for steam. EB Fuse calls for steam. I steam the crap out of stuff. The card slots. If you want to put a strip of 809 in there, Wanda, you're more than welcome to. Sometimes I back mine with EB Fuse Medium, which gives a little bit, but for this pattern, SF 101 works really good too. Oh, you got snow too, Annie? And TN, is that Tennessee? +19. Is that Fahrenheit or Celsius, Lise? That's Celsius? That's actually the perfect temperature if it's Celsius. I'm not a person that likes it being hot or cold. 86. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but I don't speak Fahrenheit. It's funny. I'm that, because I was born in 75. We did the imperial system until grade 2. And then from grade 3 on, it changed to the metric system. So never asked me what I weigh in kilograms. I couldn't tell you, but I could tell you what I weigh in pounds. I think in kilometers, but for my car, I think miles to the gallon. I'm really, really mixed up. For my height, I have no idea how many centimeters I am, but I can tell you I'm 5'2". So I'm a mixed up generation. Us poor Gen Xers. Oh, at least then that's the perfect temperature. I hope it's warmer when you get home. Up here anyways. All right. Are we ready to start some fusing, guys? Are we ready? Everybody good to go? Oh, Kim, that sounds like fun. You got a knee scooter. I hope your foot feels better soon. Okay. We're going to move on. Oops. So I'm going to put you down here. So the first one I like to start with is this is my vinyl piece. This could be your cotton piece, depending. It's your exterior piece. Remember we did this little square here? So I got my fusible Peltex here. If you don't have fusible, you can definitely put a piece of double-sided tape on to hold it. You won't be sewing through this part. This is just going to be where the male part of the turn lock is going to be. So this is the stability behind it. So I'm just going to mark that down there and very carefully, let's see, I don't have any steam. Grr, my Alyssa. I'm going to spray with a little bit of water to create some steam. And I'm just going to fuse that into place on that mark. And if you're using vinyl, make sure you do it in very short bursts because you don't want it to mark on this side here. This is where I would usually steam it a bit, but I don't. But that's where this mat comes in really handy because the mat gets nice and hot and I can kind of pressure it down. Oh, so that's not too bad. That's about what it is here too today, Annie. We're +1. You're almost -1. Okay, so I got that all stuck on there, like so. That piece is done. And then we are just going to work through all of our cotton pieces. So what I like to do is on the wrong side, sometimes I'm actually going to do it because I like it. I don't know if this is the right way or the wrong way, but on my wrong side of my cotton pieces, I always use best press starch. I like to think, and I don't know if it does, I like to think it helps prevent shrinkage of my cotton pieces. So that's why I use it. It says it's supposed to not make it stretch too much or shrink too much. So I just spray some on, and it smells lovely because this one's lavender. So I use that on the back of my pieces. Again, you don't have to. I don't know if it really helps, but in my brain it does. And of course, I don't have steam on my iron, so it helps create a little bit of steam. And I just iron it all of those creases. That looks good. Usually I have this, I'm right-handed and I have it on the wrong side. And I take my EB Fuse. Now with EB Fuse, I have learned, because I am new to this interfacing, is as soon as this gets wet, the EB Fuse kind of wants to shrink up. So if you watch what I do, is I take some water and watch what my EB Fuse does. I spray water on it. And can you guys see it kind of going, meh? So then when it has a little bit of water on it, then I kind of lift it up and I place it back on. And then I start from the center and I fuse it on like this. Kind of in small circles. If you guys watch Sarah Lawson, you probably know who taught me how to interface, because I think I'm doing it exactly how she taught me 4 years ago. Hold in 30 seconds and kind of spin around. And I like to flip it over and go over the side a little bit, give it a spray, water or steam. And I have a little bit of overhanging interfacing here. Make sure you don't put your iron on that sticky glue part. You can trim it off right away if you want to. But I kind of end up just trimming that as I make my pieces later on. And then once that's good and stuck on, that's not quite all the way there. Now we're good. And you just keep moving on to the other pieces, doing the exact same thing. This part I actually find rather relaxing, and I know it's ending my cutting day, because I usually will cut on one day and then take the rest of the day off and then go sewing. Usually on Sundays, I will cut all of my projects for the whole week, so I have a full cutting day. I hate Sundays for that reason, but I am so happy with myself the rest of the week when I don't have to do any more cutting. So again, putting my EB Fuse on the wrong side, giving it a spritz, and then readjusting because it shrinks a little bit as soon as the water hits it. Doing it again. Now don't do the flap pieces yet, because we are going to do those a little bit different. Do everything but the flaps. And then we will do the flaps here momentarily. Okay, flip her over. See, the heat press may be faster, but I don't know. I kind of like doing it with the hand iron. Actually, do you know what? That's okay, Cheryl, because I don't think everybody has fusible Decovil heavy or Peltex, so that's fine. We'll do it a different way. I will say a way you can do it if you want, but it's actually Yeah, nope, that's fine. Keep it that way. Go ahead and interface your other pieces, and we'll do it the other way that I do it. Sometimes I do it one way and other ways I do it the other, but that's fine. It will still work, Cheryl. I will do it the same way as you, just so you know. So you're not alone. Actually, I'll pull those pieces out now and I'll explain what I mean. So for our flat pieces, there's two ways of doing this. So your cotton pieces, actually, you would be okay, Cheryl. Your cotton pieces, you're still going to go ahead and iron on your medium woven interfacing. Like so. Mine don't quite fit because I cut them really bad, but that's okay. And for the exterior flat piece, you can go ahead and you can fuse the Peltex piece on the exterior piece outside of those seam allowances if you wanted to. Or if you aren't using a fusible one, you can put it down first, and then you can go ahead and, like, if say this wasn't fusible, you could put it down like this, and then you could put your woven interfacing over top of it, and that would hold it in place if you wanted. You can also save this piece to put in after. So what we're going to end up doing is taking our two flat pieces and we're going to sew them around right sides together and pull them out, right? So then we have two sides like this, and this will either be fused inside already. If you don't have it fused inside already, we're going to stuff it in like so. Does that make sense? That's okay, Lise. Vinyl flap, you do not need to interface the vinyl unless you want to fuse your Decaville or your Peltex piece on. But I think we're going to not fuse this on, and we will stuff it in later. So there's really two ways of doing it. So you can either fuse it on now, but then again, that may make it hard to turn out for some people. So we won't fuse this on. We're just going to put the Decaville piece or the Peltex piece aside for now, and we'll deal with it on next week. Vinyl flap, do not put woven interfacing on the vinyl flap. Just put it on the cotton side if you have it. And if you're doing two vinyl sides, then you don't have to worry about it. You only want to do your cotton pieces. But that is two ways you can interface the... I didn't iron on the Decaville Heavy fuse. Okay. You could iron on the Decaville Heavy if you wanted to, but just keep it aside for now, and we are going to do it by stuffing it in next week. Look how bad I cut that interfacing. There's always a workaround for everything. I mean, this Decaville or this flat piece, this is just the way I do it. It's not in the pattern. Just that extra piece just gives it that extra stability behind that turn lock, and the turn lock gives it a thickness behind it to help it grab on better. And I'm not going to do this here, but later on, I would just go ahead and trim out all the interfacing. See how I cut it really bad? Just trim all the interfacing away, but I'm not going to worry about that. I usually end up doing that as I make the pieces or start sewing them together. Like, look how bad I did that one, but that's all right. I just keep it like that for now. Now, the reason I usually have an interfacing day is I like to let my interfacing sit overnight. I just find that the glue adheres better. That's not necessarily necessary, I don't think. I just find that that works for me and my own brain. So, and usually once I've done a couple hours of cutting, I'm kind of done. When I'm doing the actual sewing, I get really in the zone and I could sew for hours and hours, but cutting for some reason just really, really takes it out of me. It's exhausting. Okay, so this is the lining piece. But yeah, I find that for fusibles, if you let them cool for a while, I find it just makes them stick better. Rather than going and working with them within a half hour or whatever, I find that they end up pulling away. So I think it's good to let them rest. I don't know. What is your guys' experience with that? Do you find it's better to let them sit for a while too after fusing? It's already 5:30. Holy moly, time flies when you're having fun. Let's make sure that's all sticking good. I just love this EB Fuse light. Oh, cocoa beans. I think Dave just went outside to go to the store. Coco, stop chasing your brother. You let them cool for 30 minutes, Frankie? Yeah. I mean, you don't have to. Again, that's just something that in my brain, I find nothing works with Decapholite for me. It pulls away no matter what. I just can't. Even when I use a heat press, it just... Decapholite. What else do I have left to do? I have the zipper lining. Dawn says I have the zipper lining pieces and the card slot back left over. Yes, interface them all. The only cotton pieces we aren't interfacing are the two zip tabs. Becky, you let it rest too? Me too. So tomorrow I'm trying to decide if I'm going to make it a cut day or if I'm going to cut a bag in the morning and then maybe start sewing it. I don't know. I need to go and do a live sew and cut soon for the Beans Pete's group and of course for all of you because you all have access to that as well. Now that I finally have this all figured out. As I say, don't run over your glue with your iron, and I'm doing the exact opposite. Yeah, go ahead, Melissa. You can go ahead and iron that on. So all your interfacing pieces should be attached. I'm actually down to my zipper stuff too. Does anybody else use a starch for their things? Yes, Lise. They are very comparable, but EB Fuse Light is so much cheaper. I mean, I can get my interfacing wholesale, and I was selling interfacing, as most of you know. Some of you were my customers, but when EB Fuse came out, I can buy it retail from Janelle at Emmeline for cheaper than I was paying wholesale for my SF101, and it is a much better product. Like, so I just stopped selling it. And then of course with the foam, I mean, I love Pellon Flex foam, and then I ended up trying the So Pink foam from, or the Pretty and Pink foam from Galaxy Customs, and I just love it so much more. And it's definitely not cheaper than Flex foam, but I don't know, it just gives it a really good quality. So I think it's worth the extra money. So I figure where I'm saving money with my woven interfacing, I can save on a better foam interfacing. So I end up kind of being even in the end, I think, which is okay. Yeah, you use starch too, Melissa, for that. I honestly use the starch one because I think it helps get the wrinkles out, and I think it helps with the shrinkage. But I get this lavender one, and I just love it. I know it says Caribbean Beach. That's just because I reuse this bottle. I have a big, huge tub of the Best Press Lavender. You're gonna try it, Becky? I just find like it still shrinks a little bit when you iron, but I find that with the starch, it doesn't shrink as much as if you don't use it. So my preference. Look, I ironed that one really uneven too. So when it comes to interfacing, I'm just like, meh. It's all good. I wish for this best press that they made like a vanilla one. The lavender might have a little bit of vanilla in it, but... And I really like the cherry blossom one too. I just like the smell of them. I'm almost done. Oh, yes, Annie, let me know what you think. Again, it's my preference. It's not for everybody, but I really like it. And it kind of makes the cotton pieces kind of have this crisp feel to them too. So, which is always good in bag making, to have them a little bit stiffer. Maybe not so much in clothes, but... Oh, Dawn wins. She beat me even. So what do you guys think of this? Is doing a cutting and interfacing class a good idea at the beginning of the class series? Are you... It's ringing again. Sorry if it paused out again. I will next time have to pause that. Love the lavender one. Cherry blossom is my favorite. Lavender is my favorite too. They tie. And I promise for next week, I will put my phone on do not disturb. So we don't keep having these phone calls and these pause breaks. Right there, I was actually hanging up on my mother. Yes, definitely. I have linen fresh and a gallon jug. I have the gallon jug of the lavender. Keeps. Yes. Okay. I think I'm caught up. Oh, Kim beat me too. Okay. Awesome. So even if cutting and interfacing isn't the funnest part, at least we get to keep each other company doing it, is what I'm getting out of this. Because really the cutting and interfacing is almost always the same. A little bit easier with actual bags because a lot of it you have pattern pieces where I don't have to worry about hiding the sizing on the ruler or whatever. I got to do that. Sorry, phone ring again. I'm a popular girl today. I like having the cut and sew day. Yeah, good. Perfect. Love the feedback. Seriously, you guys. She's got to stop calling me. I think I'll text her quickly and say, don't call me. Keeps you motivated, Annie? Great. Perfect. Again, you guys are kind of my tester group because this is the first time doing the class. I guess you can look at me now because I'm done. Oop. Stay. All done. So yeah, I think it's really nice kind of starting with the wallet because it's a little bit smaller until I kind of figure things out how we're doing it. So yeah, then I just put all my stuff in a bin and we're good for next week. And do you guys like the idea of me having one already made up so I can kind of show the pieces that we're working on as we go along? Is that a good idea? If so, I got to get making a Betty Bowler bag here pretty quick. Cheryl's done. Good. In which case, I will also make a tutorial at the same time, but I'll make sure I don't release the tutorial until a month or so after we do the classes. Because I think that would be the fairest thing to do. Do you agree with that? Awesome, Lise. Good. Because yeah, if I'm going to make a bag to show in the classes... Oh, Becky, she just messaged me and says that she misses me. So it's all good. So that definitely helps. So what would your guys' opinion be with the bag that I make as the sample before the class? What is the right amount of time after our class to release the tutorial to the public side? Is it something I should release right away, like as soon as I do it, or shall I wait till after the classes? And if so, how long after the classes? That's what I want feedback on. Pretty please. Because, you know, this is much more in-depth than what the tutorials are. But if I'm going to put the time in to make, doesn't matter to you. Okay, all done, good. So not this live class. No, these live classes will never ever be released to the public. You have to have an active membership to do it. But it's like for next month, we're doing the Betty Bowler bag. But that means that this month I need to make the sample like this one because I've never made one before. And I want to be able to show you the pieces. But if I'm going to do that, I think I would also do a tutorial because I can double dip there, right? I can get the tutorial done if I don't have a tutorial on that bag yet. But I just need your guys' opinion about when would be appropriate to release it. You think about a month later. So if we do, okay, so we're doing the Betty Bowler for April. When would I release the tutorial? May or June? You know, the little 45-minute tutorial, like on my public side, like I usually do my tutorials. Because at the same time, I want people to sign up for the classes, right? And because you guys have, I don't have a preference on when you release it. Okay. May? Okay, so again, this is just my business brain going. So say I were to release it in May after it's all done. So we've all done. So like we finish April 30th, say. So more like May 30th, I should release it. Oh my gosh, Coco. Beginning of June? Okay. I'm going to go with a full month later. I think that would be fair. But, ooh, membership perk. Membership perk. What do you think of this? So I do the tutorial, the 45-minute tutorial. But I have it released for you guys to see as soon as the classes are over, but only you guys can see it. And then it's released to the general public in June. Is that something that would be cool? You're welcome, Wanda. So like we do our class in April. And then after our class is done, I have that tutorial uploaded. And for the full month of May, you guys have the exclusive rights to the 45-minute condensed tutorial. And then a full month later, so say June 1st or May 31st or whatever, then it gets released to the general public. Does that sound really good? What's happening right now is Dave has run to the grocery store and Coco is mad that he's left the house. Okay, so we will do that. And then that's just an added perk for all of you. Oh my gosh, Coco. Or somebody's coming to my door. Somebody's at my door. I think I have an Amazon order. That sounds fantastic. Okay. Yes. Ooh, Cheryl. Fantastic idea. Can you guys just hold on? I'm going to go answer the door really fast. Okay. 1 second. 1 minute. Move. Move. Coco, stop. Oh, you get it, please. I'm in a class. Brady, are you going to get it? Get the door.
I have to grab a basketball.
Oh, okay. Brady's getting it. Amazon delivery guy actually knocking on the door. Well, waiting that long puts you behind in your tutorials though. No, not at all. No, I'll just add it into the schedule and that'll be one of my June tutorials. So it'll just be done ahead of time. But I think that that would be an added membership bonus. I think that's a really good idea. Okay, what else I was saying? Was it Cheryl that said it? Yes. And then what we can do is in my tutorial, when all of our projects are done, I can put, you know how at the end of my tutorials, I always have pictures of the finished bag? At the end of the tutorial, if you guys don't mind, I could flash your bags and I can have your name written on, like just your first name written on the pattern and show, and these are all the bags that were made in the class. Would that be cool? No, not an impromptu mail opening. It's Brady's stuff. Would that be a really cool idea? Would you guys be game for that? So we'd have my finished bag and then we'd have kind of like a slideshow at the end of the tutorial of everybody else's finished bags from the class. I think that would create great excitement. And then you guys can be part of the tutorial. What do you think? That would be super cool, hey? Membership perks, yay! Let's do that. See, this is what I need. You guys are helping me build my channel. You'll be my go-to people. So yes, let's totally do that. And what we'll do is at the end, at the end of the class, everybody takes pictures for me, and then you can email them to me or text them to me or send them to me via Facebook Messenger or whatever. As long as it turns out okay, Cheryl, it'll turn out okay. And then I will include them at the end of my tutorial as examples of some great things. And that'll give people inspiration, because all of us are going to have different visions for what our bags are going to look like. They're going to be the same style, but they're all going to look different. Incentive for new members. Yes, I want more members. I hope so. And I want to make sure I'm giving you guys your money's worth too. I mean, this is all new. Oh my gosh. You get the barking dogs. How about a lesson on photos? Okay, now Dave's home from the grocery store. Honestly, take your pic. All I do is take my pictures by my sewing machine. Or take a picture of it outside. That's always a good way of doing it. I just take my pictures with my phone. Oh my gosh, just give her a minute. Dave will walk in. I am so sorry. This will be something that will always be part of my tutorials or part of my classes. Dave wouldn't usually leave the house, but he is making us nachos tonight, so he went to the store. And the Amazon guy never ever knocks. Why they decided to knock on the door this time, I don't know. Yeah. So yay. Did everybody get all their fusing done? We still have 20 minutes to spare. We are done. I think that's all we're going to do, but we can chat. And look, I still have my lacy bra sitting on my computer here. Yeah. If you got really brave, you get somebody to take a picture of you holding your bag. That could go at the end. Yes, Kim, get her to sign up. Don says, outside is great. I found that shine my sewing machine light on the bag. That's really good lighting too, but that's the light that I got with my industrial. We love the barking dogs. It's okay. Yeah. I swear she doesn't bark all the time. Just always seems, yeah. But when she's quiet, I wonder what she's getting into too, right? So, yeah, no, I think that would be a lot of fun. I do. No, you guys are awesome. Thank you. Again, if you have any ideas, please help me. Erica's done good. Oh, what's wrong with your card slots, Kim? What's going on? Was it the interfacing wrong, or are they cut wrong? Where do I buy my starch? Cleaner Supply. Becky, that's exactly why my dogs bark. Is we live on a busy street. We're just down the street from a school, and we have a bus stop across the street. So it's a constant, there's constant activity outside. Oh, you did the wrong color? Oh, make sure you're doing it for what you want. So at least you know how to cut it and interface it. So it's just a square. Excellent. This has been so much fun. And you're right. It did make the cutting of the bag quite bearable. Yeah, Cleaner Supply. I get so much stuff at Cleaner Supply. But I get the big 1 gallon things of Best Press. I've also found it on Amazon, but I find Cleaner Supply is cheaper. Lise. Thanks, Lise, for tuning in. I hope you got a lot out of this, and we'll see you next week. I'm glad this worked out. Again, when we end this live, I will end up going and putting it to membership viewing only. I will have a playlist for membership viewing only. So you'll be able to rewatch it there if you need to rewatch it for any reason. So, and of course, whoever joins will get to see all that stuff too. They'll get to go back to all the classes and see them. Nicole, you don't have a cell phone. Oh. I said, that's all we have. We don't have a landline anymore. It has been awesome doing this with everybody. I actually quite enjoyed this. And I get said, you're in the US though? Yeah. Waywack is the same as Cleaner Supply, Annie. Waywack is the American version of Cleaner Supply, same company. It actually kept me on track too, Kim. I usually get all squirrely and end up looking at my computer or what have you. So, oh, Nicole, my goodness. It's funny. We used to have one cell phone for our whole family. Now we all have them and we don't have a landline anymore. So, but it does make it a pain in the butt when I'm trying to use my cell phone as my camera and my phone is ringing nonstop like it was tonight. So we'll get it figured out. Hi, Marlene. Oh, that's okay. You will be able to watch this once it's done. I will put it in replay mode and I will post a link to where you can see it. So you could go ahead and sew along with us. All we did was the cutting and the interfacing of the necessary clutch wallet today. So you can go ahead and do it with replay once this is done and watch the membership chat feed and I will be posting a link to it for you. No, oh. I thought, Don, I see that it was you that said that, but I thought it was Nicole that said no landline either. I'm like, what? No telephone? That's okay. But yeah, Marlene, definitely watch it. And then you can get all caught up and join us for next week. We will be on time and good to go next week, 4 p.m. Pacific time, Thursday night. Today we're finishing up a little bit earlier. I guess we kind of popped in a little bit earlier too, so it's all good. This was a fast one to cut and interface. But yeah, it's been so much fun and thank you so much, guys. Do we want to call it a night? Are we good to call off for 15 minutes early? Nicole, you don't have a landline? What do you use for a phone? Oh my gosh. At least, oh, or do you just use like your computer? Like do FaceTime? Oh my gosh. At the same time, Nicole, I think it would be heavenly to live in the bush, but yeah, to not have internet. I like to go camping and be cut off from my phone and my computer sometimes, but yeah. This was a lot of fun. I was actually super nervous and I'm not nervous anymore. And yeah, this was lots of fun. You have a pizza waiting for you? I said my husband's making our nachos and I think we're going to watch the new Ryan Reynolds movie on Netflix. FaceTiming. Do you know what? That's almost better than talking on the phone. And then glad, Kim and Becky, that you got the sound working. That's perfect. So I think we have all the technical hiccups out of here. So thank you again, everybody, for being so understanding about last night's technical issue. Again, I don't believe how stressed out I got. I was just so scared I was disappointing all of you. And I was so excited to do it. And I had all this nervous energy. And then it was just like, blah. So, oh, Frankie, go get your husband from the airport. Yeah, bye. All right, so let's call it a night. I will have this uploaded into the members only playlist. I will send you guys all a link to the replay and then you can save it as well. So anyways, thank you so much, guys. And then next week we will be working on the exterior and probably doing the card slots as well is what I'm thinking. So yay. Bye, everybody. Have a great night. And thanks again for all you do for me. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Love ya. Bye.